Hey everybody, Randi Sands here with Randi Sands and the Mediumship crew. And today's not a real formal day. We're all kind of informal and not looking our best. We've got the COVID hair and what have you. I'm wearing all my baggy clothes today, but it's just the crew hanging out. And we're doing that because we had a couple questions that were brought to my attention. So, Leanne, do you want to talk about some of the things you've been asked?
Absolutely. I've had a bunch of people reach out to me lately after some of our other, meetings that we've had or webinars that we've had about COVID and the fears surrounding that, and also now that some of us are starting to go back to work, some of us are coming off of the pause. Everybody's nervous about it, and it can become very consuming. And speaking spiritually, how can we deal with that? So I thought it'd be a great idea to just kind of throw some ideas out there, since we're all trying to live, a more spiritual existence. How can we get through this so that it doesn't, consume us as we try to get back to some normalcy again?
Well, I see
Um,
Michelle's having some issues getting in. She's coming in and going out. She'll get in soon.
mhm.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've had a lot of the same things coming. I had literally 12 people in one day, and it's hard. It's hard because people are having a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and it's understandable. So let's talk about that. I'm going to have you guys go first. So, what are some of the ways that you guys think people can let me tell Michelle.
Mhm.
Okay, I just told her just come back in. What are some of the ways that you guys think people can deal with the fear?
I'm,
I guess, go ahead, George. What do you have? What do you think?
I mean, some of the ways to deal with it, at least as far as I can tell you from my personal experience, I think just taking it one day at a time. I think meditation is huge. I think getting silent, becoming silent, listening, kind of just reflecting on what's going on and remembering that you are safe, that you are at home, and if you're taking the precautions that have been outlined, you're going to be okay, right? I think another thing that's really been helpful for me is creating a space, a physical space, not another kind of space, where you can actually be and feel safe, right? So for me, I built a Zen area in my backyard where now I go every day and I hang out. That's my spot. It's like my man cave, but it doesn't exactly have the cave. So that's been really helpful for me. So I think meditating has been huge. Becoming silent, really reflecting and remembering, not to be fearful, right? There are ways to protect yourself. There are things that are being put in place, like shelter in place, to prevent us from getting ill, right? So I think that's really important. And I think checking in with your spirit guides, if you're connected with them, have a conversation. Reassure yourself that you are safe and that they've got your back and that the divine has got your back. And holding a more of a, I don't know if you want to call it esoteric, but a more another kind of space where it's all okay, right? And having that mindset. So that's been really where I've been coming from how to make myself more comfortable during these times, because it's been tough being an extrovert as I am. It's been very, very tough being at home all the time.
Well, apparently it's pretty tough for Michelle too.
Right?
She's
Those
have
are awesome points.
So
Those
that's
are awesome points. And one thing that I wanted to add to that too is that one thing I've learned through my journey here, and since I've met George and I've met Randy and Michelle, is the phrase "let go, let God." And I have a very hard time with that. The universe is going to do what the universe is going to do, and the harder you fight it, the harder it kicks, is what I've learned. And we've talked in other chats about fire walks and different things in other videos that we've done, but let me tell you what, I'm learning the hard way that that's true. And sometimes you just have to step back and go, you know what? Be aware of what's going on around you, take the precautions you can take, but you have to let go at some point. You can't stop living completely. You can't live in fear. None of that's healthy. And you have to just let go. And you know, one thing that I do now that I find has helped me, I struggle with anxiety on a daily basis. So since the COVID thing, you know, and having to close my business and everything else, it's been bad. And you know what I've gotten myself in the habit of doing is I've also created a space in my house that's you know, my go-to place. It's quiet as it can be with, you know, 5 teenagers running around. But I'm trying at least every day at night, just quickly to write down 3 positive things, anything, you know, that happened throughout the day. I'm stuck at home. I want to beat the crap out of the people in my house. But you know what? I'm so tired of 10th grade math, I could throw up. However, I am grateful that I got to spend this time with my kids, you know, where I wouldn't have normally gotten to spend some of this extra time. And, you know, some of the little projects that have been on my list forever, you know, I'm finding, you know what, it is kind of cool. It's kind of cool to be, you know, doing something different, and everything else will come back. And also another suggestion that I have is, and I have to do this, is stop watching the news every day. You don't need to watch it every day. And social media breaks. I force myself, actually my husband forces myself to take social media breaks and text breaks, he calls them, on the weekends. And people get mad. They text me or they message me, and I might not get back to you for a day or two, but you know what? It is necessary for my own mental sanity, and I'm sure for your sanity too, just to step away. There's so many opinions out there. Everybody's got something to say, and you don't have to listen to it. You know, take a break from it.
It's true. I have shut myself off from TV completely. And well, let me rephrase that. With COVID, just like a lot of other people, I was swimming, you know, 2 to 4 miles a day. And so when you stop, you start putting the weight on. So now I'm doing YouTube, you know, workouts at home, because we can't have that going on. No.
Mm-mm.
So that
Vanity
I am
before
doing.
COVID.
What's that?
Yeah, right.
Vanity before COVID.
Right.
When your
Exactly.
leggings start getting tight, you're in trouble, right?
I wouldn't know. I don't wear them.
Oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
But that and makeup, no, out the door, baby. So, you know, I am doing the YouTube thing, but I've taken this time to do a lot of learning, especially in technology. I feel like I've gotten like a 5-year degree in like a few weeks. But you know, you got to realize that there's a universal plan, and nothing, excuse me, that any of us say or do is going to change that universal plan.
Mhm.
Now, yes, we need to take precautions. Yes, we need to do all the right things, whatever that is for you. Okay, because I'm not going to get into the should we stay at home or should we not. You got to do what you feel is right. But really, it's about faith.
Mhm.
You know, as a spiritualist, is it easy? No. But I know that there's life after death, you know, what we call death. So therefore, I don't have fear. I've been very comfortable through this. I've been right here at my desk for probably 13, 14 hours a day, doing a lot of learning, and, you know, then doing a workout and whatnot. I refuse to let fear consume me, you know? Do either of you have anything more that you
Well,
feel is useful?
yeah, I mean, what Leanne was just saying, I think is really important, because, you know, most of us, or a lot of us, are empaths, right? So we feel these things a little bit more than others. And I think the visual aspect of it really augments that and makes it really tough, for me at least. So I've had to stop. I can't watch the videos of people who are suffering. I can pray for them. I can send them the energy that I want to put out there. But to actually visually see it is so tough for me. I mean, I'm the kind of person who just won't, you know, I won't go to sleep thinking about these things. You know, I'll stand up stay up the whole night, right? So for me, it's like, I do CNN once a day, to check out the stats, see what's going on, how the world's coming along. I talk to friends, etc. But I've really had to be careful. I don't click on some of the videos that I see on Facebook and also on Instagram, because there's not a lot of filtering, right? So we're seeing people actually take their last breaths. We're seeing people struggling to breathe. We're seeing people who are losing parents and screaming, etc. This is all tough stuff. And it's all our reality right now, right? But we're all human as well. And there's only so much we can take of that. And it's tough, it's tough. And you want to, you empathize so much that to the point where it's like, oh my God, you're affecting your health, right? At least for myself. And so I've been very careful on social media. Again, checking once a day. But then I try to focus on those things that I can do, right, to help people that I do hear that are struggling. For example, just recently, I think Randy, and I think Michelle, I learned of a situation where there was a lot of—
You mean Leanne? Michelle's still trying to get
sorry,
back in.
Leanne, I'm sorry, apologies. So like,
a bit.
I learned of a situation in the country where my parents are from, where a lot of elderly people were suffering because they depended on their children to make the income to feed them, right? So they're suffering, they're going without. And these are people that, make 300 euros a month. It's nothing, right?
Right.
What can I do, right? So I got together with a cousin of mine. We had things, groceries delivered to every home in the village. We did what we could. And these are the types of things that we're going to see the change in the world, right? This is what's going to prevent them from going out when they shouldn't be going out to get groceries. And by the way, they don't have the money to do so. So if we could concentrate on the things that can make a change, a positive change, I think it's really going to help, right? Because if we're going to continue to watch the videos, really empathize and not only get depressed, sad, and, send that negative energy. Because, if you have that energy around you and you're putting it out there, we all know, right? Energy flows where attention goes, right? We know how it goes, right? So we need to concentrate on those things that are positive, that we're going to make sure that we're headed in a right track and flowing towards that one ultimate goal, and that's to get rid of this thing, right?
And you brought me to something really important, because I'm going to be blatantly honest. I've lost 5 people to this virus. 5. Okay. One was just not even a week ago. And it's been tough. It's been tough. But, I've had a lot of people calling me, a lot of people saying, hey, I need you to talk me down off the ledge, blah, 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 blah. And I'm doing it. But here's one thing that I want to tell people. If somebody takes the time and the energy to talk you off the ledge, you talk the next person off the ledge. Don't send them to me too, and then they send somebody to me, because comes a time where I have to do self-care. Otherwise, there's nothing left. I'm on empty, and who's going to talk me off the ledge? So I have to stay off the ledge in order to help other people stay off the ledge. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That is so important and so true. And, like I said, the news and the media and things and people tend to focus on the negative, because that's what consumes us. A positive story comes in your head. It's great, but it's back out as quick as it came. And one thing I'm really trying to do is, people are helping people. Look around the communities. Look around and see what's going on. These parades, the parades of cars and all these kind of things that are going on in my area. It's phenomenal to watch. Be a part of it. If you're going to be on social media, find your community pages and look those up. And like I said, a lot of them now are developing, so you can participate in a birthday parade for a kid. I don't care if you know the kid or not. You know what I mean? Just little things that you can do, get you out of the house, spending time with your family. And the other thing that's very important right now is even myself, my business is closed. I'm a dog groomer and it's shut down. So I have customers reaching out to me constantly. And I felt like I'm not doing anything all day. I'm working a ton, but I'm not being productive. And so I actually have sat down and I've forced myself to create a new routine for myself. And that includes getting up and getting dressed in the morning. I've worn makeup more in the last month than I ever have, not because I'm doing it, but because I have a daughter that's a hairstylist that's here, that's doing it. But you know what? If it gives her something to do, whatever. You know what I mean? So she helps me get ready in the morning. I help her with, straightening her hair and whatever else. And, but it's forcing myself to get up and keep moving and keep doing things. Because otherwise, when you're sitting around and just trying to burn the time, your mind starts to wander. So,
that's a good point. And, a lot of people, I've actually told that same thing to a lot of folks. And then I keep hearing this one response that I think is very interesting. Well, I don't have money. I can't help. I can't financially do it. And my response is, get on that community page, like you said, find out what's going on. I have a cousin who is 81, 82 now in Palm Springs, okay, in California, or here in California. And he lives on a fixed income, right? He's an older gentleman who is on a fixed income. Well, he found out through Eisenhower and a few other, hospitals that they needed masks. They were there. They just needed to be assembled. Well, he's assembling them at 81, 82 years old. That doesn't cost any money. All you need is a dining room table and some will, right, to do that, and some
Amen.
Be inspired, right? So it's not always about money. If you have the money and you want to contribute, fantastic. Do it. I highly recommend it. If you don't, there's other things you can do. Even a prayer, right? How many people need that positive energy? How many people need prayer? A lot. Right. We see numbers, right? We know what they're about. So these are the things that we can do. I think, being the spiritual people we are, is that we know that it's just not all about the physical, right? There is something out there that can help, and then we can connect to it.
Exactly. And, my wife and I are blessed because we have donated and we have helped. I had a dog rescue come over the other day, and I left a bunch of dog food outside, because we all know as an animal communicator, I'm very partial to the animals. And we're blessed to be able to do that. But if you can't do that, like you said, it's even a prayer. I mean, every day I pray, please look out for the less fortunate because they're really struggling. But, take the time to sit down and come up with some ideas of things that you've wanted to do in the past, goals that you haven't been able to do because you were too busy, and do them. If you wanted to learn how to use on Mac, it's called Numbers. I forget what it's called. Excel.
Yeah.
Or Numbers. Take the time. Learn it.
That's right.
There's nothing stopping you. It's free. So, do something that is beneficial.
That's right.
And not everything has to cost money. You can go on YouTube and do some workouts like I'm doing. You could go out and walk around the block, instead of just living in your head. All right. Leanne, do you have... Oh, go ahead, George.
That's a good point. You can walk around the block. You can do a lot of things. And the cool thing is, and this has happened to me, and I'm just pretty amazed that these things are happening. Like, I'm doing these little things like you were just, talking about. And I'm so surprised, impressed, a little shocked at all the things that I'm able to do and the things that come via doing the things you're talking about. For example, I took a walk the other day, for example, and I had my mask on, doing the walk because can't go to the gym, right? And as we all know,
it's killing me.
Right there. Yeah, the food is right there. You're like, oh my God, I want to eat another taco or whatever, And so I went around the block and I had the most interesting thing happen. I walked by the home where I grew up as a child, and the gentleman was standing outside in his mask, and I'm like, nice house, I grew up here. And he's like, what? And so I shared all these things about the house, and he was so excited, and I got to drop off some pictures. And he's like, oh my God, the house used to look like this. This is what it was like. Oh my God, that room was actually this. Blah, blah, blah. And see what I'm saying? It's just these little things that the universe brings to you, right? That
you brought him joy.
And I brought him joy, right? What did that cost me? Looking through a photo album? Nah. On a walk? I mean, these are the things that happen. So these little things will start to appear because again, going back to what we just talked about and what Leanne just talked about, Leanne and Randy, this universe has your back. It knows what you need, and it knows what needs to happen when it happens. And you just got to believe that, because these little things will start to pop up. You may not pay attention to it, but they're not coincidences, right? Right? You know, it coincides. It coincides with everything. Coincides is not coincidence, you know?
Exactly.
There you go.
And reach out. And the last thing I have to say about it is, you know what, reach out. If you know, like George had a great point. The majority of us that are having the hardest time dealing with this are empaths. You're absorbing a lot more energy from people around you than you realize. And you know what, you have to take self-care very seriously. And it's something I've never taken seriously. So you've got to reach out to someone. If you don't have someone, by God, you've got our names. You find someone and we'll find someone for you. But you've got to reach out and take care of yourself.
Yep. Michelle, this one, as you know, was on fear. And right now,
I was lost.
And right now, you're fearing going off on your computer.
I thought you were walking in nature or something.
I'm afraid I got lost. Cyberspace.
Do you have anything on fear that you would like to express before we shut this one down?
Well, I don't know what you covered, but
that's okay. Just roll with it.
Basically, you know what I've learned over. What did you say?
Just channel it. You'll be fine.
Channel it. All right.
You got this.
What I've learned is that the more you face whatever you're afraid of, the easier it gets and the less fear you have. So once you get over that initial hump of kind of confronting whatever it is you're afraid of, it gets easier.
Does everybody know what fear means, by the way? Because Michelle brings up a really important thing. Does everybody know what fear stands for? It's an acronym. Did you know that?
I did know that, and I forget what it is.
What is it? Lay it on me.
Fear is false experiences appearing real. They're not real.
I can't be, false. That's not
Think
right.
about
That's
it.
not how you spell it.
F-E-A-R.
You said
I
false
posted the channel, we would have
appearances.
been not having this problem.
It's false experiences.
Oh,
False
okay.
experiences. What did you think I said?
See,
False episodes.
Didn't you miss this comic relief that I provide free of charge?
By the way, we call Michelle Jack.
Amongst other things.
My bad. I'll just be over here. Be quiet.
Oh my goodness. So yes, it is false experiences. And if you think back about it, every time you've had a fear and you've gotten past it, you've realized that, what was I afraid of? You know?
Exactly.
All right. So I think that's what we've got for you guys on fear. And like Leanne said, you know, reach out. And if you need to, you know, you can try to get one of us. You know, and if somebody helps you, please be sure to help the next person. I told somebody just the other day, I don't know, some people may know, some people may not. I'm the founder and the lead reverend of Loving Realms Spiritualist Church. And I told one of my board members, I had talked her off the ledge. And then she had a friend that she wanted me to talk off the ledge. And I said, listen, I'm one person. So if I helped you and I talked you off, now it's your responsibility to help the next person off. You know, instead of bypassing it, or, you know, bypassing yourself and going to somebody else, you have the power and the ability. Help the next person. And I'm going to leave it with that. And everybody have a great night.
Thank you.